Well, hold on, chat.
Jesus Christ.
Chat, did we watch Guilty Until Proven Innocent? This one's 20 minutes.
I'd rather see something about a person like that's kind of creep, like the guy Jeff.
The Jeff? Okay.
Yeah, let's watch this. I'm getting a vibe on this guy. I want to see this.
Let's see. All right. Well, hey, listen. This one's short, so we could maybe watch another one.
It's
right?
fine. Let's
chill out.
Let's play it by ear.
You go to play it, and so like, dude, that's like, come on, bro. Let's see.
Am I under arrest?
For now.
I'm under arrest?
Yeah, I'll explain everything, but before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
Well, like I said, I need to read your rights first. Obviously, the charge is robbery, okay? Yeah, I'll explain everything.
I'm under arrest for robbery?
You are, but let me read your rights real quick, okay? And then I'll explain it all to you. Is that okay? You let me do that real fast? All right, Jeff. Can you read with me? Just read in your head, okay? Before we ask you any questions, you must understand what your rights are. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in the court of law. Does that make sense? You've probably heard these before, haven't you? Does that make sense? Do you understand your rights? Do you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? You understand? Do you understand what I read you? Do you comprehend what I read you?
Well, he does have the right to remain silent.
Jeff, I'm just here to talk to you and figure out what happened and move you on out of here, at least some of it. So do you understand the rights I read to you?
Dude, you literally never have to talk.
Of course. You don't.
If you got something that says you didn't do this robbery, this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
No, you said I'm the prick.
You look like the prick.
This is Jeff. Jeff is a heroin addict and has been for the last 14 years. He is 6'5", weighs 153 pounds, and has now found himself in the unfortunate circumstance of being charged with armed robbery. This is in the state of Georgia.
I just sometimes what's frustrating is, so you try to eat right, you try to work out and try to stay in shape. And then I see these people, like, I watch Cops, and they show up at some guy's house. No one ever has a shirt on. And they get these guys, they're eating garbage. They live in a horrible situation. They don't exercise. They come out, and the guy's, like, ripped. And I got to be honest with you, that fucking pisses me off. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I was about to say, this dude's been doing heroin for 14 years. He's in better shape than everyone.
That's immaterial. What I'm trying to tell you is, I watch Cops. They show up at some guy's house, and it's always no one has a shirt on. I don't know what that's about. I don't know. And they got, could you come outside? The guy.
It also looks like their house is really hot, like most houses.
There's no AC. They have like
no
one
AC.
fan that just goes like this. You ever see the one fan? They got a fan. There's like usually a dog on the porch.
Yeah.
There's like pots. There's like dishes in the sink. Obviously, no one's getting good nutrition. They're not drinking, the required amounts of water each day. Obviously, they're not getting the minimum amount of exercise. Guy walks outside and he's fucking ripped. And let me just tell you something. That fucking pisses me off. All right,
let's go.
I just had to make that point.
Georgia. So if found guilty, they will render him the minimum term of 10 years without parole, up to the maximum term of life in prison. Jeff has been through the system multiple times over, and he will know that if indeed found guilty, his sentence will be considerably longer than the minimum 10 years due to his previous convictions.
Jeff, do you understand your rights? Yes or no? I'm not asking if you want to talk to me at this point. I just want to know, do you understand what I read to you?
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
Get me back to the cell. I don't talk to you motherfuckers.
Okay, fair enough.
You want a Coke?
Yeah.
You gonna be able to pop it open or you need me to?
Jeff has become somewhat of a cult figure in the domain of interrogation footage. His recognition seems to have grown through his own popularity, as opposed to the notoriety of his crimes, like most others. Conveying the exact reasoning behind this can be tricky, as the interest in this character will no doubt vary by the individual. Yet we've found the most collective reason can be explained through a single pop culture reference: the anti-hero. While the concept is timeless, the actual term was created through the realm of modern cinema. There's a diverse number of characters passing through the decades that fit the criteria. Yet perhaps the most textbook example could be the protagonist from the 2003 feature Bad Santa, a middle-aged man simply known as Willie. This is a character that lies, cheats, steals, swears at children, drinks an inconceivable amount of alcohol, and is generally extremely unpleasant to every single person he comes across.
Look who's here, Jimmy. It's Santa.
Oh, fucking right.
Let's tell him what you want for Christmas.
I'm on my fucking lunch break, okay?
On paper, this is an extremely unlikable individual, yet for some reason, we root for him while following his story. Anti-heroes are flawed, as are we. Their moral complexity mirrors our own, and just like us, they are learning and growing as they move along the path of life. Their mistakes make us think of our mistakes, and perhaps the reason we root for their redemption is the reflection of ourselves rooting for our own. So you might be curious about the contrast between the anti-hero and the villain. One we embrace and relate to, while the other we despise and detach from. Both are driven by selfish motivations, yet our emotional response differs between them. The reason for this, while not necessarily obvious, is a relatively simple formula. The anti-hero must have a glimmer of humanity, alongside a noticeable vulnerability. This is what allows the viewer...
My favorite, I think a lot of people can agree, my favorite anti-hero of all time, and you kind of question yourself as to why you love him so much, is Tony Soprano.
And obviously you're gonna say that.
That is the best example. I obviously felt that a great deal with Walter White, but not so. But nothing even comes close to how many people will tell you, "Oh, I love Tony Soprano." Dude, he is a ruthless fucking gangster that kills people. Yeah, but I love him. That's
Tony Soprano.
That's the anti-hero.
People are saying Joker in the chat.
Well,
I can't put Joker as an anti-hero.
No, I think. Well, you got to look at the. Well, so first of all, this is where, and this is why. Joker, with Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Was such an amazing movie because it really, you kind of followed him from where this whole thing started, and you work. Listen, in a way, yeah. There's a. It kind of goes back and forth a little bit, but in that movie alone, you could call him an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Normally, the Joker's a straight up villain, but in that movie, because of that process. But there's like when I think of the definition of an anti-hero, to me it's Tony Soprano because you love him. And it's really fucked up. Like, he's really... You know what I mean?
Wait, who you said? Tony Soprano?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God.
He's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy, but you love him.
You love Tony. You're rooting for him. Like he's killing people.
It doesn't even make sense.
He's banging chicks. Like, you're like...
He's a horrible person.
He really is.
If you were to truly connect with a character, it allows us to forgive them when they are unethical, but admire them when they are noble. It allows them to be angry, cowardly, and greedy, but also cheerful.
In a way, too, Narcos. Fucking, what's his name?
Oh, 100%. Pablo Escobar?
Dude.
Oh.
Dude, I'm watching that, and I'm like, bro, I want this dude to get away with this shit. Like, is that bad?
Like he would give he would give, and he knew exactly what he was doing. He'd go into these towns and give people money, and it would like protect them, and he would just drive around. Dude, you see how he got around? He would have to get in the trunk of a car, and a cab would take him. They're like, how is he getting around?
Brave and empathetic.
Who the fuck is Thurman? Is that you? Is your name Thurman?
Yeah.
Thurman Merman?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Unlike the clean-cut, one-dimensional hero of mainstream culture, an anti-hero is not only more realistic, but far more likely to resonate with the viewer. They resemble ourselves, and remind us not only of the ambiguous morality of existence, but also the possibility of redemptive change. With relation to Jeff, while many of us can't relate to the feeling of being addicted to heroin for well over a decade, we can certainly understand the feeling of sadness. While we may not be able to put ourselves directly in the shoes of an addict, we can somewhat relate to the adversity that comes with it, not to mention the incredible magnitude of the situation he is going through in this video. How he responds to this very moment is quite literally the precursor to his entire future. He is at a crossroad moment in life, where on one side is the possibility of hope, and on the other side is the outright guarantee of despair. The long-term path he goes down will be the consequences of the short-term choices he makes, all of which have to be judged and decided on while going through the early stages of heroin withdrawal.
I need methadone.
You need methadone?
Yeah, you guys can get me that methadone or what?
I don't have any. Do you have medication for it, or a prescription for it? Or?
No.
What do you need methadone for?
Because I'm a fucking junkie and you guys, I can't get no methadone. I'm gonna go through withdrawal here in a minute.
Where do you usually get your methadone from?
I don't get it. I get heroin.
Open a can for the guy. Oh,
How long
God.
you been using heroin?
Long time, buddy.
Sometimes the manner in which words are spoken can convey far more than the actual words themselves. The admixture of pain, regret, and acceptance in his voice is not only palpable, but harrowing. It brings us back to the essential components of the anti-hero. He has the singular desire to accomplish his goal, to which the end justifies all means. Yet this desire stems from the scars of vulnerability, and there are few vulnerabilities more crippling than the relentless burden of addiction.
What are you trying to talk to me about here?
Talk to you about what happened last night. Look, here's the deal. Either you're in a bad set of circumstances, or you went and committed an armed robbery last night.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm in a shitty, wrong place at the wrong time, obviously. I didn't commit no fucking armed robbery.
All right, then let's talk about this. Let's
I
not
don't have
keep
nothing.
up
I
the
don't
act.
talk to the police, man.
I think it's in your best interest to.
How?
Man.
I don't talk to
you're
the
sitting
police.
Here, okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how
I know
it
you
works.
have. I know you have.
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
You're trying to fucking get me. Or you're
No,
trying
I'm
to,
not trying to get
all
you.
you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not gonna get one.
Jeff, I'm not going to get a
'Cause-
confession out of you for nothing.
Exactly, because I
And
didn't
I'm
do
not trying
nothing.
to get a confession out of you.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't commit no armed robbery, and y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house because my fucking buddy's dog's going ape shit. I go outside, there are cops everywhere, and they spotlight me. They say, "Come here." I say, "What's up?" They search me. They ain't
Hang
find
on.
nothing. What's
Let
up?
me read this.
No,
before- Yes.
because I'm not gonna sign it.
You don't have to sign it. But let me read it for you. Okay?
I'm not signing nothing.
You don't have to sign it. Let me read it.
You already read it to me earlier.
I know we did, but I'm going to read it to you again.
Thanks for the coat.
You're welcome. Before we ask any questions, you must understand what your rights are.
And here we have our glimmer of
Oh, he knows what
humanity.
he's doing.
It may seem like a non-essential moment, yet sometimes the smaller things can reveal the most. Jeff extends his gratitude in recognition of the small favor the detective has done for him. There is no return benefit for Jeff giving thanks to his adversary, meaning there is an element of selflessness and grace in the act.
Okay, pause.
Let me ask you something. Before you say that,
Go ahead.
what's the glimmer of humanity in Tony Soprano? Or not Tony Soprano. What's his name? The other Tony. Tony Montana.
So,
What's the glimmer of humanity for him?
his sister.
What about the sister? Like
The way he loves his sister, and he wanted to protect his sister, and he wanted to make sure his sister was okay and give her money and make sure she was safe. So that was the only thing that was pure in his whole life was his sister. What were you going to say?
Oh, that's what I was getting.
So let me
ask you.
let me just say something else.
Yeah.
So, I totally lost my train of thought. We were just you said something.
I'll
about,
rewind in a couple seconds.
No, you don't have
remember.
to. You don't have to. That'll
You'll
confuse
remember.
me even more. He gets the Coke. He says, "Thanks for the Coke." All right, go ahead. Just continue.
I'll rewind in a couple.
Oh, I know what I was going to
Recognition
say.
of
I'm
the
sorry.
Go ahead.
I guess what I was trying to say earlier. Is this: when I interviewed for that job, and I met with those behavioral psychiatrists, those psychologists, and I'm watching them ask. I'm like sitting there asking me questions. I'm answering. Then they're asking me other questions. Like this is, and then now like watching this guy's behavior and analyzing it, I find it extremely fascinating, and I understand how people go into that line of work. It's fascinating to watch this and learn this and look at this, and I mean, I think this is amazing. I really do. This is fucking great.
That's why I've been watching
This is fucking great. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Small favor the detective has done for him. There is no return benefit for Jeff giving thanks to his adversary, meaning there is an element of selflessness and grace in the act. There may be considerable emphasis on the glimmer of humanity here, but all we need is a glimmer to know that it's at least in there.
You have the right to remain silent. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one, a lawyer will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering questions at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand the rights I've explained to you?
No.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what happened last night. Plain and simple. Your side of the story.
I'm not talking to you. I'm a lawyer.
All right. This is what I don't understand.
I
know, but this is what I don't understand, Jeff. You were sitting there talking just like you were ready to sit here and tell me what happened last night, and then all of a sudden I read that to you, and you screw it, I ain't talking to you. I want a lawyer. I don't understand that. What changed just in the...
Because I told you what, I already told you what happened.
You didn't.
How didn't I?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
How didn't I just tell you?
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't talk to you because you asked for an attorney. So, okay, that's fine. But I will tell you right now, you're still on a hold for a robbery.
I know. I don't know why I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing. And obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham bam, thank you for the coke. Put me back in the cell. What's that?
Just my phone. All right.
Where's the lawyer?
I know we did this twice, but I got to do it again every time, okay? Before asking you questions, I got to read your rights. You understand that? Okay. Go ahead and sign there. Let me take your gift off.
Look, I'm not signing nothing.
Okay, you don't have to sign anything. You understand your rights, though, right?
Yeah.
That's all I need. A verbal yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the lawyer?
When's this coke gonna be here? Or is that just a fairy tale?
It's coming. He's getting it right now. He'll be here in about 2 minutes. He has to walk to the soda machine. It tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny? Occasionally I'll have a diet Dr. Pepper. I like a diet Dr. Pepper. Every once in a while, I'm talking about, you know, maybe 6 months, 5 months, whatever. I need to have a real Coke. And I know you're not. I know you're not a soda drinker. So this.
What do you mean by like you have to have a Coke? Like what does that mean?
I don't know if it has to do with like, I don't know, but every few months. Let's round it up. Let's say every 3 months or so, I have to go and have a real fucking Coke, not a diet, not a bullshit diet. I need a real ass Coke. I don't know, man. It's just something. Every few months, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I was hungover. Maybe I was a little hungover. I don't know. But I'll tell you, man, a real fucking Coke once in a while. And you know what's funny? I used to like Pepsi, better. And then as I don't know what it is, man. Then I go back to just like that. And you know what I love too? I love too when I have. You get like a not out of the can, like a fountain one, like McDonald's. Do you know what I mean? And with the ice. Oh man,
bro. The thing is, it's like chat. People who don't know this already will probably not believe it. I don't drink soda at all, so I don't even know what you're talking about right now. I literally don't understand this.
I preface it by saying you don't drink soda, so you can't relate to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You never drank soda. Never. So. Let me say this. I'm not a soda drinker. Let me just say that. I want to make sure everybody's clear. I'm not a soda drinker. Occasionally, maybe once every week or 2 weeks, I have a diet Dr. Pepper because I need it for a sweet. I need some because I don't eat candy and shit like that. So I like that. But real fucking soda, like a Coke, that's once every few months. Maybe because I'm a little hungover or something. I don't know. But whatever. All right, what were you going to address that, or we want to move on to?
Oh no, I was going to say, like, the chat already knows the story, but I was scarred as a kid at a Thanksgiving. I think I was like 5 or 6, and I thought I was going to drink water. And when I drank it, it was like Sprite, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it was bubbly, and you got all freaked out.
And it just freaked me out because I thought something was wrong, and I didn't know what. I was a little kid. Like
I will tell you something.
It just freaked me out. I don't know what happened.
I will tell you this. And I saw this mentioned.
And it was warm Sprite, by the way. Go ahead.
Oh, God. I saw this mentioned in the chat a couple of times. I'm going to say this. I hope I can reach one person. One of the worst things that you can consume is Mountain Dew. This is one of the worst things you can consume. It has a high level of the caffeine.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's not good for you. It's bad for you. It's actually awful. And I know there are people that have to drink this every day. It's like part of their routine.
Well, one thing I tried to tell you about was not actual Red Bull, but the sugar-free where there's nothing in it. And there's still caffeine.
I'm asking you nicely.
But there's
please do not put that shit in your body. It fucks you up with your central nervous system. It's high concentration. Listen, caffeine is a drug, dude.
This is not something I drink every day.
Please don't.
If I have a drink, there's certain drinks I have at bars, and especially if it's like a club or something, a great drink is a sugar-free Red Bull with vodka.
Oh.
It's good as fuck. And then another one with the only time I'll drink soda is it's like a cherry Coke or something with vodka. That's the only time I'll drink soda.
All right, all I'm saying is the Red Bull that just really fucks up your whole central nervous system. It's not good, man. That caffeine, that's such a punch of caffeine with alcohol at the same time. That makes me nervous, man. Makes me nervous. All right, let's go, Jeff. It's not working.
I have enough evidence
like what?
Of the armed robbery, okay? But, you know, if you're saying you didn't do it, you need to give me your side of the story.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, give me your side of the story. You got to, convince me. Because I got a lot of evidence. I got a lot of physical evidence.
Well, like what? Name the physical
Well, I don't need to, why should I tell you that? I mean, you haven't been helpful to me at all.
Because I don't believe that you got any evidence.
There's only a couple pieces of evidence I'm missing.
Name them.
What's that?
Name them.
Well, why do I need to do that? You haven't helped me out at all. You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, and I give me a little something. All right? What time do you get over to Aaron's house?
The detective downplayed the magnitude of the question to a considerable degree. He stated that it was a little something, when in reality, establishing a timeline alongside a destination can be a crucial and sometimes decisive piece of evidence. If the suspect locks himself into a specific place at a specific time, it can be used to refute a multitude of amendments he might come up with at a later stage. A single piece of admission such as this essentially has a butterfly effect on a suspect's leverage in a case, and although seemingly insignificant, this was a crucial moment during the interrogation. The suspect at this point in time has given nothing away, and this was the detective's attempt at turning the table.
You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, and I give me a little something. All right? What time do you get over to Aaron's house?
No, anything I say here can and will be used against me.
Sure, but anything you say here, I can also tell your parole officer that you helped me out.
That doesn't mean dick. There's no way. I didn't do it. There's no way.
How drunk were you? Were you drunk?
No, I was pretty sober.
So you're in your right mind. You remember everything about the night, right? So you couldn't have done something not remembered. You couldn't have gone and robbed the place and not remembered?
Fuck, no.
Okay, so you would remember if you robbed the place.
Yeah.
You asked me to bring you up here. I was done talking to you. If you want, why don't we just talk about the gun? Let's start there. Okay?
Well, I don't fucking have a gun or own a gun.
Okay. I don't think you do. I know you don't own one. Okay? But I need to know where that gun came from.
I don't have... What the fuck are you talking about?
The gun you were sitting on.
I was sitting on.
Body language analysis can never be given full credibility, yet this would be the most telling moment if one were to use it. The subject of the gun used in the armed robbery has been brought up in the discussion, and when inquired over the gun he was sitting on, the suspect brings forward his posture, maintains eye contact, and responds to the question in a forceful manner. It displays both confidence and conviction in the declamation. One could assume the suspect genuinely has no idea what the detective was referring to in this moment. However, in the next moment, the detective will clarify with the words, "the gun over at Aaron's house," at which point the suspect will reset his posture, break eye contact, and lower the tonality and emphasis in his dialogue.
Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
Over at Aaron's house.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because Aaron says it wasn't his.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Compared to the gun he was sitting on, it would appear the suspect knows exactly what the gun over at Aaron's house was referring to. Yet whether it be for the purpose of not incriminating himself, or for the purpose of not incriminating his friend, the suspect does the smartest thing and refuses to continue the conversation.
Like I said, you give me a little, I'll give you a little. Alright, I got a lot more I can tell you about the whole thing, but you gotta help me out too. So I'm willing to go to the prosecutor, I'm willing to go to the parole officer and say, this guy's a good guy, he helped me out.
Hey.
I know you don't want to go back to jail, right? Back to prison?
Well, fuck, it looks like I am if and you're going to charge me with some bogus shit. You guys don't, I mean, what do you got really? That I was at a buddy's house and I happened to come outside because you guys were fucking swarming the area and they
which door did you come out of?
I came out of the front door. You know what? I'm not saying myself, man. I'm done, man. Fuck this. The only reason I came up here is to get a fucking Coke.
Okay. You're not getting out.
Oh, no. I can't finish it?
You can finish it. Make it quick. I got things to do.
Butterfinger, you promised.
I didn't promise you that. I said we'd see what happens. Alright? Like I said, you haven't helped me out at all. Why should I help you out? I got you a soda. That's good enough.
Jeff was released from custody just under 12 hours later, and that takes us to the final and perhaps the most important component of an anti-hero, the conclusion, which unfortunately in this particular case is unknown. The final outcome of this story will vary depending on the source.
You know what's interesting about this? Anyone that you come in contact with, you don't have to talk to. You don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't. I mean, and it all goes back to the rights that we have, right?
But that's where these cops...
You have the right to remain silent.
But that's where
that's my right.
They like...
No, I get that, but what I'm just trying to say...
They beat you down. Like, he sat there for how many hours?
I understand that, but what I'm trying to say in general is, if you really think about this, who do you have to talk to? You don't owe anybody. Who do you owe an explanation? Now, I understand. Okay, you're living at home, you're young, your parents. I get that. I'm saying, though, in life, who do you owe an explanation to? Who do you have to justify yourself to? Who do you have to respond to? You could literally walk around and ignore everybody. That's your right.
Listen, there's a lot of people here like, all right, they're going to school and working. Like, you can't just ignore everyone.
I'm not talking about in a normal... You're missing the point that I'm not talking about you going about your life as a productive, good person in school or work. I'm talking about out in the world, in the street, in you know what I mean? I'm not talking about that as a productive, good person. I'm saying if you're confronted by somebody.
Chat, don't say El Son. I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the chat.
What we're saying here is this. Well, here's what we're saying. What I'm talking about is if you're confronted by somebody on the street or wherever, you owe no one an explanation, and you could tell people, fuck off. I know socially acceptable behavior and I get all that. But I'm saying that you really could. You really could just conduct yourself and tell people to go fuck themselves. Just saying. Is Jeff done? Are we done with Jeff?
Jeff is that one ended.
That was fantastic.
And you know what's so crazy? The one that I watched with you was the dude wasn't a psycho murderer. All the other ones, you hate the person who's getting interrogated. This one, wait, it's not over? Oh, it's not over.
Go ahead, let's go.
My fault.
Some with a happy ending, others a cautionary tale. One legend has it that Jeff got clean soon after his release, and now works in the corporate marketing team for Coca-Cola, while another states that he was picked up the day after for the same charge, and is now facing down a 15-year sentence in Georgia State Prison. If we go by the Hollywood formula, an anti-hero's actions throughout the course of their life are so drastic and single-minded that they only ever lead to salvation or destruction, and their final decision is always dictated by what they have learned, and how they have changed throughout the course of the story. The paradox here is that we don't even need the theme of imprisonment to mold the outcome of this particular story, as the theme of addiction is more than enough. Whether he goes to prison or not, Jeff will either manage to get clean and rebuild his life, or he won't. He is headed for salvation or destruction no matter what, and that single concept can perhaps define Jeff as an anti-hero. His outcome is a mystery, but either way it goes, it most certainly conforms to the anti-hero's ending.
That was fantastic.
Santa!
Yeah.
You're bringing my present early?
No.
But I never told you what I wanted.
I said I didn't bring it, dipshit.
Okay, good. I want a stuffed elephant. A pink one.
Well, wish in one hand, shit in the other one. See which one fills up first.
That's a great line.
Dude, the anti-heroes in movies and shows, it usually doesn't end well.
It can't end well. How can it end well?
Anti-hero. What's the movie with Adam Sandler? Uncut Gems?
They all die.
He's a bad guy.
They all die.
But you're rooting for Adam Sandler.
Tony Soprano. Tony Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Walter White.
Walter White.
And even in real life, but we saw it in the movie, was Pablo Escobar. They all die.
Yeah.
That's how it ends.
What? What?
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, I don't.
Okay, I can't. I'm not looking at that guy.
Yeah, okay, guys, I appreciate it. He has a channel.
I gotta look at Jeff going, everything's all right. If that's all right, if you consider that all right, you got real fucking problems. No, Jeff's fine now. That's fine.